All right, so since I have been doing a few walkthroughs of different sessions that I have worked on before, I have gotten more and more messages if I could do the same on more recent works. So here is a bit of a different one. This time it's, I would categorize this as purely a sound design project, but there is also a bunch of musical elements and so on. So this was a commercial advert for a company called Through Dark. Some of the clothing line needed some sound design work for commercial, and they reached out to me, and I worked on it for them. So basically, to kind of go over this, let's first look at the spot with sound and music and everything, and just see what we actually get going here. Okay, so basically for this, both kind of spot, but also for this project specifically, we were kind of going for a between both worlds of something sounding realistic and, of course, something sounding more pristine and cinematic in some way. So, of course, there is a bunch of very polished and distorted and processed sound design also in the musical instruments here, but we also got a few bits of pure Foley recording-ish sounds. So this project is actually rather small. I have divided it up into my music session, which got everything that I personally would see as, well, music for the spot, and everything in this orange yellowy thing is purely sound design. So let's just go quickly through it layer by layer and see what we got going on. So in the sound design layer, we of course have, maybe we should put the screen up just so we can see a bit of it while we do this. All right, so in the start, we got machines running, and we got some electronical interference sound, and I put in some cinematic booms that are kind of like the foundation and of his footsteps, and what we kind of try to make him sound bigger than he actually is, like one big giant stumbling towards you. And we of course have the fan in the background, and I believe this is a grinder recording, pitched down, of course, with some boots, because we kind of go from this ramping from the slow motion to the real normal speed. If I try to actually do that just with this. Yes. And it basically just goes on in the sound design department, and we get to some wind. Oh, there was a pop somewhere in the very professional sound design project. Oh my. Oh well. And some of this is library stuff, and some of this is purely my own recordings. And I forgot, in this part over here, we of course have something to kind of feel and sound like the fabric that he is wearing, because this is actually what we're trying to sell in this spot, is actually the clothing. So it's also rather important to have. So we move on, get from the wind, and kind of in the sound design also try to make it sound like the visual. So here you can actually kind of, even if you close your eyes, you can hear where it goes from normal speed to slowing down and normal speed and so on. Yeah, and we kind of continue on that. And we have some Foley recordings for the fabric. And we go back to what we had over here before, but now up in tempo, because we're kind of, as you see in this spot, it kind of goes from this slow paced, we get to see the fabric, we get to see what this spot is actually about, and it kind of, with the music which we're going through in a minute, is ramping up all the way to the end, to where we finally reveal the logo and everything, right? And that's basically the sound design part of it. So, music. And yes, there are some sound design elements in the music, but I see them more as music elements rather than what actually serves the picture as sounds on the picture. So, this is the music. We start out very slow, just like the actual sound design. We start out low and slow paced, and we ramp it up towards the end. And in the start here, it's basically, it's kind of like a ramp up from a low paced moment to a higher paced moment in a trailer, basically. We got some of these very, very, very recognizable usual sounds that you get in the trailer also. That stuff, and one of these. All that good gnarly stuff, right? And it ramps up a bit. We go into some pulsing elements, some more ambient stuff, and well, basically everything musical in this is pulsing inside some kind of way. And with this, I go from kind of low frequenced pulses and synthesizers and go into either filtering it out, so I can kind of use the low pass filter to open it up as we go towards the end of the spot. And of course, we have on the picture here, we have some very nasty sound design. A layer of these two, whatever this is, I can't remember. It's one of my own serum patches, and this is one of my own hits, I believe. Yeah. And together they go like this, basically. Yeah. Okay, and then basically the rest of the track just ramps up just like the sound design does, and I open it up all up with the low pass filter until it's all basically fully open. And with the music also, to really emphasize that this big dude is running towards you, is that underneath the actual sound design steps, I also have these kicks, which kind of helps emphasize these big footsteps coming towards you, right? And so, yeah. And we have the logo at the end, and the spot is basically over. So that's the very quick view of how such a sound design / music session is set up. And some could say that you should do the sound design in one session, and some would say that you should do In both, it's kind of, well, my setup can handle both, and this is really honestly a very, very small session, so this is not a problem at all. But do whatever floats your boat and what works for your workflow and so on. A good suggestion I have regarding mixing stuff like this, if you do it all in one session, is to route everything out to different buses. So I have all my music routed out to this bus, which is called music, of course. And I have mixed that into their own buses and into kind of a master chain here. And I have all the sound design into its own little master chain here. And just a limiter on the end to kind of get it all fused in together. So all the music goes into this, that goes to the stereo out, and all the sound design goes into this, which goes into the stereo out. So I get a separate mix on both of them. Also, so I can deliver, well, I can both deliver all my groups as stems, but I can easily deliver the music as one stem without a full compressor on the sound design going in and doing weird stuff with the music, and vice versa on the sound design. So music into their own bus, sound design into their own bus, so I can bounce them out separately without any artifacts, and then into a limiter, of course, so we don't go up into the absolute blistering galaxies destroying red. So yeah, that's it, I guess. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of it. If not, I'm sorry. See you, and maybe next time if I do another video. Who knows? Bye bye.